is in New York.
I believe so. I mean, we have like a standard city block.
That's fair.
I don't know a
A
better.
street block is 1/20th of a mile, and an avenue block is 1/5.
Oh,
So
that's a
if you're in
thing.
Manhattan, the avenues are really long.
Huh. Oh, I guess so. You have 1/5 of a mile before you have a cross street.
Yeah.
Hmm. Today I learned something.
Yes, you did.
Wow.
Now you
Yeah.
can find your way around Manhattan.
I feel like if I'm going to be there, I'm probably going to be with someone else who knows what
Yeah.
they're doing. So I'll just leave that to them. Or cell phones and maps and stuff like that,
Yeah, it's pretty hard to get lost in North America these days.
which is just amazing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at the road system we have. You can get from your driveway to anywhere else in the country outside of Hawaii.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of creepy, but I'm trying to think. Like, I remember way back when, and I feel like I may have told this story once or twice before, but when I first started traveling in a band, we would have like a binder full of directions to the next show.
Mhm.
And the first like super, I think we went out for like a week, and it was the first show we lost the binder.
Ooh.
And it's like, now what? So it was a lot of like learning how to use maps and stuff,
Yeah.
which is fine. Like it really wasn't the end of the world, and we had cell phones, so it wasn't the biggest deal. But I mean, this
Right,
was
right.
2004, 2005.
Oh, so that's when like a Magellan was $1,200.
Yeah. Yeah, GPS
Yeah.
was incredibly expensive, so we were like printing
Yeah.
MapQuest directions off, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Before you go though, so you can't change the order of the stops.
No, 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 no. No, I mean, luckily, like I think the second or third night we were at someone's house and we just reprinted a bunch of them off. But
Yeah.
still, it was like we were in Madison and then we went to Cleveland, Ohio, which made no goddamn sense, and then like Kentucky and St. Louis or something silly. So it was
Yeah.
like, eh, whatever.
If you know like what direction the next city is in, you can pretty much find it.
Yeah. Getting to the city wasn't hard. It was getting to the venue. But by the time
Oh,
you get to
fuck
the
that. Yeah.
city, you could at least probably stop and ask someone like where I'm headed or figure something out. But with cell phones, you could call and ask someone for help, which I've heard
Right.
stories from guys who like toured before cell phones were readily available and like trying to find a payphone if you had to call someone. And
With quarters. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm kind of glad that I was out after that, but.
Yeah. I'm really happy about when I grew up because like I guess I had internet in my house at the end of seventh grade, but I still had to like go to the library and do research papers in high school on the
Mhm.
internet, before the internet.
Yep.
But I got to appreciate college life with the internet. And I also learned to drive without GPS,
Yeah.
but I appreciate it now because I like remember I used to get lost all the fucking time.
Really? I used to
Oh
be
yeah.
really good, and now like I will use GPS even if I'm going to work.
Oh yeah. I mean it's different now. It's not even just about how do you get there, it's how long is it going to take you.
Yes, and it's
And I mean it is creepy how they're down to the minute.
uh so it's weird. So I don't know what you use for GPS. Probably your phone, like an adult.
Ways. Yep.
Okay. So I use Apple Maps because it's better, and I have CarPlay, which I could use Waze too. Either way.
Hmm.
A friend of mine got like a newer Ford Explorer that has built-in GPS, which is like 2 years outdated. And in those 2 years, like Milwaukee, there's an interchange that we drive through on the way to practice. It's been redone, etc.
Yeah.
And it's always like 15 minutes fast. And every time he goes, I don't know why it's saying it's only going to take us this long to get there. And I'm like, Ken, we're going to shave so much fucking time off. Just start fucking driving. So shit like that bothers me. But it's also kind of proving like where you mentioned like Magellans used to be really expensive. It was like it was
Yep.
ideal to get a car with GPS in it, so you didn't also have to buy a Magellan. But then they still hit you $150 every year for maps, and it's just outdated. And it's like, well, I now have it in my hand. My mom was like, well, I want to
Yep.
update my GPS in my car, but it's this much. And I'm like, your phone is
Yeah.
GPS.
Just
I'm like, you know,
and I love the ones where it didn't factor in traffic yet. because
Yeah.
it would be like, oh, you need to get from Brooklyn to New Jersey. Oh, there's this major street called Canal. It's like 6 lanes wide. You should take that. That must be the quickest way. But if you've ever been on Canal Street, it is slow as fuck because it's constant gridlock.
Oh.
But to like a map that doesn't know the volume on there, it's like, oh, Manhattan Bridge to the Holland Tunnel, you'd be there in 3 minutes.
And that
But
was
it's like literally an hour.
yes, that's my favorite thing about Waze is that it always does factor in traffic. So the last time, I think it was the last time I went to Chicago, my wife and I went there for this true crime thing for her birthday, and we took an Uber from a friend of mine's house 15 miles out of downtown, and it took us
Yeah.
55 minutes to get there on like Friday afternoon, and coming home Sunday morning it took 20.
Yep.
I'm like, that is why I fucking hate Chicago. I don't like big cities. Like, that is frustrating to me because it's like, if it's supposed to take 20 minutes, I want it to take 20 minutes. I don't want to have to factor in, like, who might have decided to drive into oncoming traffic today.
Yeah, I mean, but it's the same with the subway too. It's like you got to add plus or minus 12 minutes to every line that you transfer to.
That's
Because
insane.
either you get to the bottom of the stairs as the train's pulling in, and then when you transfer, it's right across the platform, or you just missed it both times.
Yeah, I couldn't handle that.
No, that's why you get to job interviews like 90 minutes early.
I think I would be really good out there because I'm constantly early.
Yeah.
Like, there are times now, I'm sure I'd mentioned to you and everyone listening, I drive like 2 hours and 20 minutes for band practice.
Hmm.
And there are times where I will just drive around because I'm so early that I'm like, too early. I feel bad about how early I am. And our singer is always like, I just blows my mind how you're always on time. And I'm like, I fucking got a car wash because I needed to kill 10 minutes. Like, I think I can handle Manhattan, but I don't know. I don't
And
want
that's a great way to just find some delicious coffee, is when you're 40 minutes early for something.
right. If you're like in a city, this is
Yeah.
Burlington, so it's a little different, but I need to be more like when I've traveled for work on my own. I've been able to do that, and that's really beneficial. It's super nice. It's like you find stuff you wouldn't normally find because you
Yeah.
have no choice other than to find them. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, like I see you and Jack posting about like walking around and like, oh, I found this and all this cool shit, and it's like, even if I went and walked downtown Appleton, like it's still only one street. And Milwaukee, I've been to so much, like I know where things are,
Right.
so you just can't stumble on something new.
Yeah, when you've got a grid and you have like basically how you get from point A to point B in New York is you cross whatever street has the light.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So every day it's a completely different walk, just depending on like within 10 seconds of when you left. So every once in a while you just end up down this street you've somehow never been on, and you see some kind of new graffiti wall. You're like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Well,
Or you see a bar that just opened.
Well, yeah, and if you, even if you didn't notice, like there's a chance that it's new from the last time you were there too.
Oh yeah,
I feel like,
stuff's just opening and closing all the time.
yeah. Well, you have like pop-up restaurants and stuff, real hippy-dippy shit.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I mean, you go out to eat a lot. You're kind of a hip.
Quite a bit.
I
Yeah.
was like, you're kind of a
But it's
hipster,
the
but you're
same
not.
8 places.
Oh, so there's nothing wrong with that. I've literally
Yeah.
eaten at one restaurant since the whole shutdown, and I just keep going back.
Yeah.
They're just very, very nice to me.
Yeah. I'm not a foodie. It's like, oh,
I
I
like
like
good
that
food.
bar's wings better than that bar's burger, and I feel
Yeah.
like wings tonight.
Yes, there's a Thai restaurant that I literally will, anyone that will listen to me talk about it or go, I will talk about it. It was by our old house, and I started going enough that the bar manager and I kind of became friends. So now it's to a point where their food is fucking stupid phenomenal. And
Yeah.
with everything that's happening, and it's like that, I want to make sure that I'm supporting them. Given the unravelings of my past week, I went there a couple days late out of my normal day, and he gave me double my food and like wouldn't let me pay for it, which kind of upset me because I'm like, let me fucking pay you I said, I'm like,
Yeah.
you're the one here. But so it's stuff like that that really makes me want to keep going back because they care about their patrons and friends and all that stuff. So plus
Yeah.
they have this pork belly stew, which is stupid good.
Huh.
Yeah, it's just like a lao broth with. I tried making it at home once and it wasn't the same. And then they simmer pork belly in it, and then hard boiled eggs, and you just put it over rice.
Oh, that sounds good.
Dude, it's so good, but it's horrendous for you because it's just fat. It's fat and eggs and rice.
Oh man, I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. I probably should.
Well,
You can't see my gut right now, but it's definitely bigger than 30 days ago. The last time I like walked.
and that's the thing. Like, I feel like now I don't want to say you have like a reason to be,
Mhm.
but it's more difficult than ever. And like, even if you do attempt, like we bought some home exercise equipment, and I cropped it out of the video, but there's an exercise bike behind
There's an
Kevin.
exercise bike right
Yeah.
on my left shoulder.
But like, stuff isn't being delivered. It can't be delivered because everyone's so back ordered. So we purchased like these TRX bands, and it was supposed to be 1 week, and then 10 days later they email us and they're like, well, we don't know when we're going to have this again, but in 3 weeks we'll send you the new one that we have coming. I'm like, fine, I see what you're doing, but it's still like at the end of April, hopefully there's the light at the end of the tunnel, and I don't really need this anymore, but I'll still use it. And my wife wanted it, so.
Ordering on Amazon has been like Christmas lately, because like
How is it for you?
it's not the 2 days anymore.
No, nah, here neither.
Quickest I've gotten something I would say is like 6 days, but there's other stuff where it's going to be like 3.5 weeks. So I order stuff as I need it, forget about it, and then like I wake up and it's like your package will be delivered today, and I'm like, I don't remember ordering that,
Yeah,
but I did.
we've ordered some stuff that we needed that I couldn't get in a store. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, it's 4 or 5 days, whatever. That's not a big deal. And then we order stuff that we don't really need. And like, yeah, we could totally wait for it. And it shows up like 2 days later. I'm like, can we just be a little more... Like, I don't really need this extra section of fence for my dog. That could have
I
waited.
got like cable ties that I don't need for weeks.
Yeah, although... So one thing that we had to order was Spot Shot.
What's Spot Shot?
So when a dog pees on the carpet, you spot shot it so that it pulls the scent out. So,
It's like an enzyme thing.
yeah. Also works for stains and stuff. Well, the one that peed on the carpet is no longer with us.
Oh dear.
So it's just kind of like, I had like put it away this
Oh,
morning.
bugger.
I know. And I was like this yesterday, Alyssa's like, no one's peed on the floor in like since Wednesday. And I'm like, I mean, I would give anything to clean up that dog's piss right now, though. And I'm like, I don't even care.
Oh, you open that box and it's like, oh, right.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I mean, it is what it is, but
Are you cremating?
yeah.
Yeah.
I have him tattooed on my leg, and my tattoo artist is gonna add the ashes with some fresh ink to it.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. So that's something.
Stir them in and
Yep. Yeah. And people are like, how can you do that? Ashes are carbon. Black ink is just black carbon and glycerin.
Yeah.
So it's more of that. So it's not
Oh, that's
unhealthy. Yeah. So another thing that I'm really excited, and you will be getting one of these. We talked about putting his collar in a shadow box.
Mhm.
And then I was like, well, I really want it to be like kind of funny, because as much as this dog was so much my life, like I need it to be funny, because I don't want it to be sad every time I look at him. So I was like, I want sports stats. So I want his collar in a shadow box, and then I want like a gold plaque, and it'll be like career licks, 1 million, toilets peed
Oh
on,
my God.
5. And then I was like, was drinking, and I'm like, dude, I have a better idea. A really good friend of mine is very, very good at Photoshop. I asked him to make like a sports card.
yes.
So the front will be his picture, and then it'll say like Officer Booger Sugarstein, because I always call him my Booger Sugar. Which is cocaine, if people aren't aware, which is even better. On his last day, I was like, Booger, you want to do some cocaine? He just kind of looked at me. But and then on the back, we had some stats, and it was like the toilets peed on, the career licks, the intruder
love that.
deterrence rating is 100%. And then every morning when he woke up, he would yawn, and it sounded like this pterodactyl scream. So it was like average pterodactyl screen time. It was 2 seconds. So I'm really excited about that, just because it's a way that I can. It's different, and I mean you've been through it, so you feel like you completely understand. Yeah,
The shadow box thing. When I started to worry about Peter, I bought one of these.
Yeah.
And did the paw print thing, and I was so glad I did because it was not long. And I'm sure you've seen where I keep his ashes.
Yes.
In a box with him on top of it. This was like $200.
Is it wood?
The box itself was like $11.
No, the statue of Peter.
No, it's whatever 3D filament.
Okay.
I sent a bunch of photos to a woman on Etsy.
Okay.
And she 3D modeled him and then printed them and sent them to me.
I had our first 2 rabbits like carved out of wood for Alyssa for our 5th anniversary because that's wood. Excuse me.
Yeah, bet it was.
Yeah, 2 kinds of wood. So I like that idea because we were trying to think of some box or something to get for him to put him in. But the whole like paw thing, unfortunately, like we didn't have any idea. I mean, it was 24 hours from the time he started to get bad until the time that we put him down. But I really wish we would have got his nose print. But it's like I have pictures of him with the nose print, but that person's now pricing is like over $300 for using photos only and not a mold. But the vet did take his paw prints. Mm-hmm. Like they did it without like just because.
They do it for everybody.
Yeah. So we'll see. But like I don't wear jewelry. I don't like the thought of like, well, I wish I had this. I could do this. I could do that. But at the end of the day, it's like I still have him tattooed on me, and like that's more me than a necklace or something. So I don't know. It's this whole like woulda, shoulda, coulda, and this horror movie podcast is now just me talking about my dog, which is really therapeutic. So thank you. But yeah. I
mean, it's so much better to do the thing that's special between you and the pet.
I agree. I completely agree. And like the weird thing that came out of this is we named it Castle Wolfenstein. Someone came up with the name for me, but I couldn't look at the bed that he was basically miserable in. So I'm like, we gotta fucking move this. And then Thursday morning, I was like, hey, I'm gonna build this big ass thing with this ramp, and I see Erica is now here, and she's making fun of the fact that I wore a flannel shirt because I tried to look nice today. I have shorts on. I don't even have real pants on, but from like here up, I look pretty good.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna pour myself a Guinness.
Oh yeah, by all means. I gotta make sure I don't accidentally send you the picture where my wife climbed underneath the thing and was laying down with the dog.
You need to make sure you don't send me that?
Yeah. You know what that means? I'm just also gonna send that to you. Nope, accidentally sent. I took a lot of the dogs on this thing today, so you have to sift through a few. Business on top lounge. Yeah, I was also sending Erica pictures all day, so she understands that the top is business and then the bottom is the lounge. Well, it started like sleeting here because we're supposed to get a bunch of snow, and
yeah.
I told Alyssa I was like trying to get Wicket to climb on top of Castle Wolfenstein, and he instead just went into the dungeon because it's away from the sound. But yeah, I'm super happy with how the thing turned out, especially when I have like next to no carpentry skills.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah, me too.
And then spindles are hilarious.
Well, those are Home Depot had those. They're just called gallery railing. It's just the whole idea. We're trying to stop them from jumping off of high places, so that is there to stop them from jumping because that thing is like 21 inches tall total, and since
how'd you measure?
With a tape measure. my dick 6.5 times. But yeah, the whole reason that we were in this position is because Booger jumped off a chair and dislocated his spine. So we're trying to stop our dogs from doing that because I don't want to go through this again in that manner. So that's why we have the 2x4 with the gallery railing on top, and then just to make it look a little nicer. Plus, if it's gonna be a castle, I kind of wish I would have had like a turret, but like something.
Some notches to fire.
Yeah. Just archers on top and shit. Yeah. Oh, now you're on the get.
This is awful.
Oh. Do you need a minute to go get something else?
I haven't had a Guinness in over a month, so I've been just fucking craving it. But it's not something you can pour at home, and the bottle doesn't even have the widget in it.
I think they got rid of it because now nitro beers are more readily available. Because obviously you're a Guinness man, so you understood that it was a nitrogen pill because it was not carbonated with carbon dioxide. But now you can get, like, breweries will carbonate with nitrogen instead of carbon dioxide. So I think they did away with the pill because it's not needed.
But that's half the fun. It's just like, oh, it's in there. Yeah. Oh, that means it's good.
Yeah. They still
like, how much is that saving them per year?
And that's the thing. Like, I don't even know, but there's something going to change. Are they still in the can? I don't even know if you have cans of Guinness around.
I looked for cans, didn't find them, but the one in the can is kind of just a ball, I think.
I think so, yeah. So
and the bottle one has a shaft to it.
Phallic shaped.
Yeah.
I could have lied about everything. I don't even know.
Well, that's kind of the point of podcasting.
As long as you sound confident, it's fine. Yeah. Earlier today there's some guys out in, I believe, Ireland, that 7 p.m. their time, so 1 p.m. my time, 2 p.m. your time, on Twitch do a pub quiz. Like, their job was doing pub quizzes. So with the shutdown, they started doing it on Twitch, and every once in a while we'll do them. So we did one with some friends today over FaceTime, and I answered something, and they were like, "Are you sure?" And I said no, but I was confident, and you guys believed me. So that's half the battle. Turns out I was right. There are 7 books in the Chronicles of Narnia series, not 10, like my wife does talk to everyone into.
10 sounds like a lot.
I agree, but I also thought 7 was too many. Because aren't there like 4 movies?
Yeah, but they flopped, so they just gave up.
Is that
there might only be 2 or 3 movies. I'm not a Narnia guy, but I feel like 2 movies.
Yeah, the only reason I saw Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe was because I watched the original in middle school.
Okay. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Like the one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then didn't they do Prince Caspian?
I believe so. And is a boat one the third one? And I don't think they ever made it to that movie.
The third book is The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, then The Silver Chair, The Horse and His Boy, The Magician's Nephew, and then The Last Battle. I didn't realize that...
Was that from memory?
No. Fuck no. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, although I appreciate your thought that I actually know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that cool because it's fucking Narnia.
Wow.
I'm interested in trying this trivia thing next week.
Oh, no, it's every day. No, it's every day.
It's every day?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, I work during the day.
And that's the thing. So there was the first time I did it was like I should have been working, but I just did it instead.
Yeah.
So, but it's
so Sundays at 2 my time
or Saturday
is Fordham University has Ciol na Gael, which is Irish music, and at 2 o'clock they patch someone in from Dublin who does the news, and I mean the last like 6 weeks it's just been the same shit over and over, just like all of our news cycles, but it's usually just stories of morbid murders, but it's said with such an unironic like lilt, and it's just like, oh yes, 8 infant bodies were found behind a church dumpster. Police are deciding to look into it.
What the fuck?
Like, and they're talking about like gangland murders, and it's just so straightforward and matter of fact, and it's my favorite 15 minutes of the week. Cheers, Matt.
You too. Wait a minute.
Great. Empty glass. Now it's bad luck.
Nope. Hey, don't worry.
It's still full. Perfect.
Yeah, just hold that thought. We gotta just do this quick.
Look at your camera so we're making eye contact.
I will just let me get the pour down first. This is, oh man, there's so much head on this thing. We're not done. We're not drinking yet. I'm not gonna chug a bunch of foam. This is quality podcasting.
Let it
Yeah, but while I'm waiting for my beer head to go down, we're gonna talk about The Strangers eventually.
All right.
You're
talking about the 2008 film directed by.
Yes.
I wanted to say Brian Boitano, but that's not his name.
What would Brian Boitano do? I had to pick an eyelash out of my beer for anyone watching that was wondering why I just dunked my finger in it. It's mine. It's fine. I showered today. Did
you shampoo your lashes?
I washed my face and I shampooed my hair.
That counts.
Maybe?
Yeah. Do you use shampoo on your beard?
No.
No.
I used to, but I have kind of an oily face, so I don't really need to.
What's the point? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't keep this is probably the longest my beard is. I'll probably trim it soon, but my wife and I were trying to decide if she's going to cut my hair or I'm just going to have a man bun before this is over.
Yeah, I'm getting a little, ugh. Yeah.
So
today I extra didn't care about my hair because I was like, it's Sunday. I don't have any video meetings.
You didn't expect me to randomly be like, hey, can you do a podcast in 2 hours? It's fine. People come back and they still look at me, and you're much better to look at. Erica, I follow your skin routine. Sorry, Erica had to help me with my face washing because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a dumb guy. And my wife has very, very fine, soft skin and never has issues, so I don't know what I'm doing.
What is Erica's routine? Does it involve a piece of hummus?
It's a 37-hour skin soak. No, it's she just told me what face face soap to get, and then there's a toner, and then there's a lotion twice a day, and then to exfoliate once a week.
What do you use to exfoliate a soap with a lot of sand in it?
It's just like a black mask that you.
Love that movie.
Black mask. Yeah, I used to hide from my wife that I was doing this, and then she came home early one day, and I was just like, no. I'm exfoliating. I mean, the whole point is that I'm doing it to look better for her. I'm not trying to impress my friends or any other females. I'm trying to look better for my wife.
So that delights me.
That's why I put this nice shirt on today to drink on my couch with some friends and wore shorts.
You do look great.
Thanks,
you
man.
look like you're from the Wisconsin music scene.
So
in 1995.
Right, which I'm not up to date at all, but I was very apprehensive to wear flannel because I'm I'm just gonna look like Al Borland. And then I recently was like, fuck it. Someone talked me into getting black jeans because I generally don't really like wearing jeans, and I have one pair for work. So he talked me into getting black straight leg jeans instead of loose ones.
Yeah.
And I was surprised with how much I liked them and how I felt I looked better. So I was like, fuck this. I'll get some flannel. This color flannel, if you're not watching, it's blue and black with red stripes, but it reminds me of what my grandpa used to wear when I was a kid. So yeah, I'm if nothing else, it reminds me of him and that shit. But friend of the show, Matt Vincent and his company Hate recently released the buffalo plaid color and then black and white one with their pistol emblem on the sleeve and then their little thing here. So feel free if you're interested in flannel and that to do that. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm. Fuck.
I mean, you got more left. It's not like you emptied your glass or anything.
Ready.
All right. Cheers, bud.
Cheers.
I just heard my wife yelling at a dog. That beer's not that good.
I don't hear it. Yeah, the skin is fucking sucks.
Well, the weird thing is, back to my dog, I walked out of the bathroom right before I came in here to do this, and no one came out barking at me. And
Oh,
like when I walk into this room, like no dog is gonna make everyone lose their mind. So
yeah.
it's both good and bad. Like it's weird and quiet. And like when we would play PUBG all the time, when she would go to bed,
Hmm.
Booger would just lay on next to my leg, and it's like I haven't been able to play video games at night because of that. And
Yep.
excuse me, it's getting there, but it's different. It's a
I
change, you know.
mean, as you well know, it's things like that will keep coming back.
Yeah.
Like when you go pick up the ashes, it's going to hit you all over again. I'm just warning you.
And I didn't even think about that. I'm sure I'm like I know my wife
Yeah.
generally will be the one that does stuff because it's the same vet that they
Yeah.
use for the rabbit rescue. But I mean, there's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't think about standing in a parking lot with the back of our car open and my dog there and there.
Yeah.
She did lie to me about the whole euthanasia process. She's like, it's a 2-step process. She's like, you'll see him. What's up, Pete? She's like, you'll see him go to sleep, and then they'll take him in, and then that's when they'll stop the heart. And I was like, I can live with that.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like, I can live with that. And I think she did it knowing that if I knew that I was going to watch my dog die, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Okay.
So she told me like 2 days later, and then I was just like, why the I'm like, you fucking lied to me. But I was like, I'm so glad you did. Because if I wouldn't have been there,
Yeah.
I would have been more upset with myself.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a two-stage thing. It's just I've started to feel weird because me thinking he was asleep, and I was like still hugging him and petting him, and like his eyes were open, so I closed them, and like his tongue was sticking out, which was adorable. And I'm like, I kind of want to take a picture, but that's weird because he normally never did that.
Right.
At the time, I was like, he's just asleep. It's not weird. And then when I think back on it, I was like, he's dead. That would have been real weird.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Sorry, I got to break the seriousness here. Beat says that the stream seems to have issues. Matt doesn't look drunk. I'm not drunk.
Keep watching.
Yeah, I'm on the. I mean, I didn't bring a bunch of beer in here, mostly because I was drinking old fashions all day. Going back to because you did mention your love of Buffalo Trace when I sent you a picture of the old fashioned fixins.
Yeah.
How much is a bottle of Buffalo Trace by you?
Probably $35.
I got that for $21.
Nice.
Yeah, it was on sale, and I normally
Beautiful.
I'm not like a big whiskey guy.
Yeah.
Someone I work with, and it was at the Meijer next to my office, so I would just go there and grab something. I'm like, holy shit, it's $21. I'll buy a bottle. I was pleasantly surprised. It stemmed from a friend of mine making old fashions with Eagle Rare.
Oh.
I know, and
Eagle
I'm like,
Rare is also a
Yeah.
Eagle Rare, Buffalo Trace, and Blanton's.
yeah. So I was like,
okay.
Eagle Rare seems a bit pricey to be making a
Yeah.
mixed drink with, but he's in a different tax bracket than us, so
Okay.
it's a little different for him.
Are you familiar with the Blanton's stoppers?
Maybe. I guess it depends on what you're referring
It's a little-
to. It's the horse, right?
There's a little horsey, and in front of the back leg is a letter. One of the letters from the word Blanton's. That's the O. If the bandwidth is good enough. To
Oh,
see the
yeah.
O.
Okay.
So you may say, but Kevin, there are 2 N's in Blanton's, but there's one that represents the apostrophe. So my brother-in-law got me that barrel stave with holes drilled into it. So when you finish a bottle, you pop the horsey in there, and it'll spell out Blanton's.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I thought I was okay. I didn't realize that every bottle was a different letter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more
So
sense.
when you're at the store, before you commit to buying it, you want to be like, oh,
So what do you
that's not another S or whatever.
what letters do you have?
I have both N's and an O.
Okay.
I think.
Ashley, I didn't want to forget that. I gotta ask someone that I know has Blanton's what letters he has. But Ashley, have you ever had Screwball whiskey?
Is that the peanut butter one?
Yeah.
So, no. Last time I visited my girlfriend on, it was Valentine's Day weekend in LA. She had heard about Screwball whiskey. She looked up where it was, and there was a place like 2 blocks from her apartment.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, now we know where we're having dinner that night. And we get there, and they had no idea what the fuck we were talking about. but it was like, well, we've already like committed to dinner, so we'll eat here. It was fantastic. The portions were like this big of everything, and came to like $96. I flew back the next day. I had like a 9 p.m. flight, but I got, I'm a lunatic, so I got there at like 5:30 in the afternoon, and sit down at the airport bar, and it wasn't Screwball, but it was another peanut butter whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, here's a nice bit of kismet. I have to try that. And so I said, I'll take one of those on the rocks. And like the other two bartenders, we both kind of like, oh boy, we got another one.
A fun prank.
So like she tries to screw it off, but like the sugar has all like crusted it and everything. And she poured one for me. Now, are you about to say Erica works for Screwball or something? Because I'm gonna
no,
completely shit talk peanut butter whiskey.
No. It's Ashley. I think she just really likes
Screwball,
and
Ashley.
Erica can fuck herself. So continue.
It was bad.
I'm not a big.
And of course, it was
butter.
at the airport, so it was like $15.
Yeah. I'm not a big peanut butter fan, but I've had it. Actually, when we did the episode with Hornswoggle, he dumped a bunch of Screwball on my computer.
Oh, Jesus
so
Christ.
it smelled like peanut butter whiskey for a while.
Right, and there's sugar in it, which computers don't like.
Well, it was my work computer, so
whoopsie
doodle.
Freak.
Yeah, but yeah. Fuck, sorry, I'm trying to. This is why I show up here. Oh, how I've missed this. Yeah. Trying to think. Yeah, so I went to someone's wedding, and then someone pulled out a bottle of Screwball, and they were all pumped on what it is, and I'm like, I like whiskey because I like whiskey. It's kind of the same thing. Like I like beer because of how beer tastes, and then sometimes you can throw shit into it, and it makes it taste a little better. So I don't know, but it's the same thing with like UV vodka and like how they had 87 different flavors, and it was party juice for woo girls. And I think Screwball whiskey, no offense, Ashley, it's just whiskey for woo girls.
Kind of like Fireball.
Yes, I won
and I like Fireball, baby.
I've never had it, but I have some downstairs. There was a work Christmas thing where it was like the Saran Wrap game. You ever played it?
Yep.
Okay, so I got
giant ball of Saran Wrap.
Yep, and you have to wear like oven mitts, and you can yeah. So I got a bottle of Fireball from that, and I just haven't drank it yet.
Nice. It's what I do when somebody insists on buying a shot.
Oh,
I don't like to shoot whiskey because I like take it, I tuck it in my cheek, and then I'm like slowly trying to swallow it. I can shoot a Fireball whiskey, no problem. When I don't want to be like rude and be like, nah, I don't really.
So, and that's like, if someone insists I pick what I'm taking a shot of, it's Jameson, because it's
that's the go-to.
Yeah. But although Jameson and ginger ale, or any Irish whiskey and ginger ale, is hands down my favorite mixed drink. I do really like old fashions, but old fashions are just a lot of sugar. The way I make them are very, very sweet. Instead of muddling fruit, I just put in orange candy slices. Right? This is something else I learned from the Eagle Rare guy. It's an orange candy slice ice. I have cherries soaked in brandy, and then I put a little cherry juice, a little water, 2 cherries, some booze, and then Gary's old fashioned mix. Which, let me know if you don't know. If you've never had it, can't find it, I will send you a bottle.
I didn't recognize it in the photograph you sent me.
I will send you a bottle. And then that's it. Like, I don't put soda or any, seltzer water or anything. And it's just, oh, God, it's so goddamn good.
Whiskey ginger is great.
I've gotten real, real drunk on a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think back, but every night is fuzzy. So that's
a little thought balloon came up next to your head,
and it's just
just like cycling through shit. Couldn't figure it out.
It was static from a TV. Man, could be worse. At least I'm not in prison. I feel like we should talk about this movie since we've been at this for 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So The Strangers, 2008, directed by Purple.
Yeah, I guess I should. I still have the Chronicles of Narnia. By the way, they made 3 movies.
Oh.
Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, and then The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. And The Voyage of the Dawn Treader is where it stopped.
Wasn't making any money, I suppose.
It made $415 million worldwide.
Hmm.
So that's
That's interesting.
yeah, that's going to be for our the Chronicles of Narnia cast. I was trying to think of a clever name for it, and it didn't really come to me. This is where Eric makes fun of me. So it was directed by Brian Bertino. So Brian Boitano's not that far off from what you were going to say.
Thank you. Now I feel better.
Yeah, so I'm actually super surprised when I read that. Yeah, that's fucking creepy. But this was, if you're not familiar, is a home invasion movie from 2008. Straight slasher movie. My wife hated it because it was just a slasher movie.
Mhm.
Screenplay was inspired by real events, the Manson family murders, and then a series of break-ins that happened near Brian Boitano's neighborhood as a child. So, I mean, there isn't really a lot that happens in this movie.
It's very linear,
These two people.
except for where it's not. The opening scene is a flash forward.
Yeah. So
But
the movie starts at the end, which isn't
Yep.
breaking new ground. So you see like these kids that go into this house, and you can clearly tell something had happened. So then it shoots back, and it's this couple, and it appears that the guy is going to propose. And then it kind of flashes forward, and they're getting to this house, and they're clearly upset with each other. She's in a bathtub. It's Liv Tyler. She has a very long face, weird pointy nose, scares the shit out of me. And he's eating ice cream for dinner, which I don't feel like is
that's
the
right.
worst thing. Yeah, that's like one of the big things I remember about this.
Yeah, they're on their way back from a wedding or something.
What? And I couldn't tell if they were at a wedding. But it was very, very. He was going to propose, is my understanding.
Yeah.
And it clearly didn't go right. And I'm kind of either I missed it or they just didn't explain it. But I don't know what happened, and I kind of wish I would have known because it would have helped give a little more to what the two characters were going through.
They leave the wedding, and then he proposes to her in the parking lot of the venue. He pulls out a ring, and she says no.
Oh, okay, so I must have been making.
And then they
chicken.
have to go back to it's like his grandfather's cabin or his father's cabin that
Yeah.
they're staying at because it's close to wherever the wedding is. Yeah, and they get back to the cabin, and he's set up all this romantic shit, like the rose petals leading into the bedroom. But she doesn't care because she's crying, and it just keeps making her feel worse because like he had all this nice stuff planned, and she just ruined it.
Do you think any of this was needed for the movie? Like, do you feel really?
Well, I was thinking that because nothing happens for a while, and that's why you have the flash forward at the beginning because otherwise you wouldn't know what the fuck kind of movie this is. You spend a lot of quiet time with these guys where seemingly nothing happens, and I think that's kind of the point, is so that when the invaders show up, like this peace is broken.
So when I first turned the movie on, the way that opening scene was with like the text explaining what happened and then the kids, I thought I accidentally turned on a Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake.
Huh.
Which isn't a bad thing because I do love those movies, but that was kind of one thing that kind of sucked a little bit. But I agree. Without that, you'd probably thought you were watching some weird love movie.
Yeah, like a really quiet drama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like a depressing, independent, like, oh, poor us, we're so sad, marriage story level.
So there's a lot of sadness happening, and then she's out of cigarettes. He offers to go get more, and then this is kind of where stuff picks up. I should point out the fact of the girl who knocks on the door.
Yes.
Looking for someone, and this is very clearly how they figured out that these people were home. Because later on, it was like, well, why did you do this? And I was like, well, you were home, which is probably one of the most terrifying lines in all of movie history ever.
Yeah, it's on the poster, I believe.
Yep.
I guess over the last like 10 or 15 years, home invasions became a lot more lucrative than just breaking in while you knew somebody was out. Because when somebody's home, they can open the safe for you or tell you where everything is as you're threatening their family in front of them, as opposed to just, oh, they're home, they're out. Let's creep in the window. There's a VCR over there. I don't know where else to look. Let's go.
What year are you robbing a house in that sells a VCR?
It's my parents' house, so it's like
Ooh.
2016.
Fair enough. My dad probably has like 7 or 8 in the basement.
That's because is he a pirate?
No, he volunteers at St. Vincent de Paul now that he's
Mhm.
semi-retired, so he brings stuff home and like fixes it and just had shit laying around forever.
I love when I make a joke and then you turn it into like a really sweet
I know
thing that makes me feel terrible.
no. I think it's weird to me because anytime I
Yeah.
mention something, my dad's like, "Well, I got it if you need it." Like he'll call me up and he goes, "I had this nice record player come in. You want to get a new one?" And I'm like, "Is I have a record player? Like, is it better? Like, do record players like get
No, it's the kind
better?"
where you have to actually like string the copper wire around the screw.
He's like, "I know you've been putting on a couple pounds, so this one you got to ride a bike to play your records." Just, fucking Leon.
Well, the house in this is like a really old look.
Yeah.
It's like really rather they've got a fire going.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not like the house in The Purge where it was like just built 2 years ago and it's got all the barn door protocol metal shit.
Before The Purge turned into just straight action movies,
Yes.
which they're making another one now.
Yay.
Dude, I know we're going to see it because we've gone to see the last bunch,
All
but
of them.
I'm like, fuck. Like, please stop.
At least they're like 75 minutes. It's fine.
That's true. Yeah, they're not. If this one pushes 2 hours, we're going to have an issue.
Yeah. No, I really, really liked this movie. I had not seen it before.
Really?
Yeah, it was just part of that string of home invasion movies that just, in my mind, they're just a parallel track with torture porn, which
Yeah.
doesn't really do anything for me. One of the things I really, really liked about this movie is there is no game to it. It's just like straight up senseless violence. There's no taunting. There's no like, there's really no cat and mouse. It's just cat and cockroach, basically.
And I think
like,
that's why I like this movie so much because there isn't an elaborate game. It is just straight like, we wanted to fuck with someone and you are that person or
Yeah.
you are those people. And like even when the scene where Dennis from It's Always Sunny shows up, I can't think of his real name.
Mr. Glenn Howerton.
Yes, Glenn Howard. I was like, I don't know his name, and I didn't care enough to look it up. But when he shows up, and it's like they let him go into the house knowing that he's probably going to fucking get shot because we know that that guy has a gun. And then is exactly what happens. And then he opens up, they open up the window and they had written killer on it. And it's like,
It's a total Shining moment. There are like 4 different moments that are straight out of The Shining, but that one is exactly Scatman Crothers showing up, about to save the day, and then gets the axe in the back. The killer being written there, just it made me think of something that kind of bugged me. You and me, we've played video games live over,
once or twice, yeah.
and we're on walkie-talkies. We're coordinating, and we lose every single fucking time. These 3 invaders basically don't say a word to each other, but they've got this like ballet of mayhem going on. So like they remembered to bring something that it looks like if you had a really thick brush and you painted nail polish when they write killer. Like that took a little while.
Well, and
it's
they wrote
dry.
Clearly wrote it backwards.
Like red rum? Oh, because it's on the outside of the window.
Yeah, they wrote it outside, so it had to be written backwards, which is
it's like
not easy.
at old movie theaters in the 80s when like a new animated movie would come out and like the one usher that knew how to draw would like paint the characters on the inside of the window.
Yep.
It's like, oh, the new that new film, Oliver and Company. I'm pouring another.
Oh, that's fine. I would feel like I should have brought a third. I could ask my wife to bring me one, but we made. Hopefully this one tastes better for you.
It won't.
No. So Dennis from It's Always Sunny, I know his real name, I just refuse to call him anything else, gets shot in the face.
Poor guy.
Takes one to the dome. His 4 minutes and 15 seconds in this movie are abruptly cut short.
Wow, is that all he's in for?
I don't even know. It may not even have been that long. But
Yeah.
I think his corpse is in the movie longer than him.
I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, he probably only had to work one day on this, and then you keep seeing his corpse. It's like, oh, he was in for 3.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so and like you said, it's like this weird ballet, and there really isn't a lot that happens. It's just a lot of, I don't even want to say cat and mouse. It's cat and cockroach, I believe is what you said.
Yeah, cockroach implies like it's cat and something who's very defenseless and not able to outsmart the.
Well, they're very much like, I'm going to be here, so you're going to go this way. So you're just scattering away. So cockroach does work.
There you go. Yeah, there's a lot of like boxing them in.
Yeah. Like especially with the car, where it's like they think they're going to get out, and then the chick shows up, and then and I was like, well, if I were you, I probably would have just ran the guy over. Because
I was thinking
not?
The same exact. Why don't you just floor it?
Yeah, why not? What else do you have to lose? You're gonna die, or you're gonna die, or you're gonna die, and you're gonna take one of them with you.
One little thing where I was like,
yeah. So that kind of annoyed me.
I think at that point of desperation, you're just plowing right into the guy.
I wouldn't know how I would handle it, but I would like to think that I would have probably run someone over.
I was actually going to ask you that how you think you'd do in a home invasion.
Did you hear that one? I don't think well. No, I understand that in certain moments of stress, like I get in my own head and I have a hard time like making a clear decision. Did I ever tell you the story about the time a girl passed out in front of me?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so I was like standing in this. It was like a protein shake bar. It was like a Herbalife place. Yeah,
hipster.
Yeah, I used to try to do that instead of eat actual food. Didn't really end well for me. I think I just put on weight.
No, it's fun. You're always hungry. It's great.
Yeah, no, it's fucking terrible. I can't stand that. Then by the time I get home, I'm eating fries covered in cheese and gravy, whatever. But she was standing next to me. I didn't know her, and all of a sudden she just like went, and went down at my feet. And instead of being like, "Holy shit, get someone," I just like stepped back, and I just stood there, and I was like, "I'm useless." in the face of adversity, I am useless. Although, to be perfectly honest, if it was my wife and the dogs and stuff were here and someone came in, it would probably be a different story.
Yeah, you got that motivation.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I am armed, so it's like I have the means to stop someone. My initial idea would be intimidation to get them to stop instead, because I don't want to shoot someone. But if it's me or my family, if it's me and my family or them, it's going to be them. How about you?
Here in New York, we don't have the guns.
Do you want me to send one with your bottle of Gary's Old Fashioned mix?
That's a great idea.
I'm going to prison.
The U.S. Postal Service isn't really checking stuff too hard right now. So
no, I know someone who works there, and he's like, "You fucking whatever. Yeah, you send drugs. No one cares." I was like, "Oh wow, that's awesome."
Like when I send you pickles.
Yeah, exactly.
Pickles means beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
The way my apartment's set up, like, it's very linear.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a fire escape, but I would just be so scared that the cats would get out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the 6th floor.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck I would do in terms of like escaping. If we're talking about like I'm in bed and somebody comes in, yeah, I'm going out the fire escape. I would probably go. Well, I shouldn't give away my strategy.
No, yeah, don't do that.
I would go up rather than down because the roof is right above me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make
I'm
sense.
on the top floor, and I could get back in through like the roof door, down the stairs, and then maybe get behind the guy, and then what? I don't know.
Yeah, you figure that out when you get there. Do you have castle law in New York that you know of?
Is that like a stand your ground type of?
Yeah, basically. Like my understanding is before they instilled castle law in Wisconsin, you had to be backed into the last corner of your house before you could defend yourself with lethal force for it to be considered legal.
Huh.
Yeah, I had
castle imply like if they're at the moat, you can shoot them?
Yeah. If they're on your property and danger seems imminent, you can defend yourself.
I mean, the definition of property is
And that's the
there is
thing. Like,
none here.
and I think it's going to be very, it's going to be a lot of gray area, and you're going to be doing a lot of arguing your point and defending, and it's all going to come down to who makes the better case. Now, I had a very crazy boss at my last job, and he once told me, he's like, if someone breaks in, he goes, call 911 and just scream, I'm in the last room of my house, please stop. Why aren't you stopping? And then start shooting and get it all on recording, because then he goes, you're
There's
fine.
a script.
Yeah, he goes, then you're fine, because how do you, if that record doesn't exist, how do you prove that you were in the last corner of your house? And you know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm like,
now, when the
fuck, man?
prosecuting attorney says, when you said that on 911, were you telling the truth?
Yeah, and that's the thing, dude. It's like, I just hope to never be in that situation.
Yeah, no.
I mean, you could spend all day practicing and rehearsing. Like we watched a lot of Doomsday Preppers before the pandemic, and I'm like, these people are coming in their jeans right now because they're like, we've waited for so long for this. And it's like, dude, I feel like if you spend so much time trying to prepare for something that may or may never happen, like, you're just going to make yourself crazy.
I mean, here's a controversial thing I'll say about gun owners. It's like a lot of them, and I mean, like,
choose your words wisely.
Gun owners.
Yeah.
A lot of them are like, oh, I can't wait to have to use this fucking thing.
And that's the thing. My old boss, who was insane, was very much like, I don't want to ever have to use this, but if I do, I'm going to make sure I know how.
Yeah, and that's I think what the Second Amendment is for.
Yes.
As opposed to like, oh, it would be so fucking satisfying if some guy came up to me and tried to intimidate me and I just turned the tables on him. Oh, I hope that gets to happen.
Yeah, see, I'm not that guy. The only gun that I bought was my 9mm because I wanted to have one in the event. The one I got for bird hunting and shooting trap in middle school, and the other two I was inherited when my grandpa passed away. So I told Alyssa, I'm like, I really want an AR-15 because they're fucking cool, and she told me no, and I'm like, okay.
In PUBG terms, in video game terms, which one is that? Is that one of the loud?
Yeah, I mean, it's considered an assault rifle.
Okay.
Let's see, AR-15. The thing is they're very customizable. They're very light, and they're incredibly accurate. AR-15 in
I'm looking up a picture.
PUBG.
Oh, it's that one. Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to see what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, they do have an AR-15 in PUBG. At least this at one point they did. Anyways, but yeah, it's that one. Like, that would be in the event of a zombie apocalypse, which may happen. That would be the thing. That would be the gun I would want, because that is very easy to take one shot and hit exactly what you want. And they're so light.
What's light? 15 pounds? I don't know.
Well, I mean, you can get them made out of like carbon fiber or like a very lightweight steel.
Like this notebook of mine is virtual carbon fiber.
So
as a 007s. But I don't think it'll actually. I think it's just like a stamped leather.
7 pounds. I think 7 pounds for an assault rifle is
my favorite Will Smith movie.
7 pounds? Is that a real movie?
You don't know that one?
No.
Yeah. Oh, Matt. Oh, it's bad.
Come on.
Oh, it's bad.
I forgot about this.
Yep. 08, 09, around there.
2008. I don't
and
want
the poster
to watch
is just
this.
his face.
Yep, I remember the poster. That's the only thing.
Just
I
like
remember.
Hancock, yeah.
Why would I? Why? What's it? What is a what?
It is it. Well,
I have a lot of questions.
If I may speak about that movie instead of
the strangers they all die at the end. The strangers get away. Yada yada. There's a second one.
Yeah. So Will Smith, I'll start at the end and work my way back. He had killed a van full of 7 people in a texting and driving accident, and including his wife. and I'm sure the van he crashed into was on its way to church or something. And
Of
so he
course.
spends the next couple of years of his life trying to recruit 7 worthy organ recipients. So, like a blind guy that's very patient, somebody with a faulty heart that needs some shit. And then once he finally finds them, he kills himself with a jellyfish in the bathtub and lists those people as the people he wants his organs donated to. And it's like 7 pounds of flesh redeeming itself. I am not kidding that. I know you don't believe me that this is what it's about.
Okay, so I believe you, and I believe you because I've had to explain Tiger King to people.
Ugh,
You haven't watched it yet?
no, I'm not gonna.
Why not?
Because I'm so annoyed at how easily everybody fell for the viral marketing, just like that movie Bird Box.
Um,
Same thing, Netflix thing that came out of nowhere on a holiday weekend or a weekend everybody was home.
mhm.
And how did they start marketing it? It was just with memes. So they pay a few people to put some memes, and people are like, "What the hell? That sounds like a funny source for a meme." And then they watch it and post
It's
their own memes. And then once you get like 4 or 5 degrees out, it's like, "Who the hell told you about this thing?" And they're like, "I saw it on the internet." And they can't like remember any actual marketing
I
other
mean,
than every time you turn on your Apple TV and it's like splash
I
page Tiger King.
and that's I remember when it came out, we watched it because it popped up. And I remember seeing it and just being like, I remember hearing about this Joe Exotic guy, and we couldn't do anything.
Oh, like in real life.
Yeah, because this was just
Yeah.
2 years ago, and when the guy's name is Joe Exotic, like that's all I remember was
You kind of know what you're getting.
yeah. So I was like, yeah, let's just give this a watch. So, but I totally understand what you're saying, and it almost sounds like you're jealous that you didn't come up with it first.
I think what it is that I'm jealous that I fell for it for fucking Bird Box, and that movie fucking stunk.
I don't disagree with you one bit. I didn't think Bird Box was great. I think
Nobody did, but they all like talked about it on New Year's weekend 2019.
I guess I didn't realize that that's when that came out.
Hmm.
Huh. Yeah, I mean the thing with
Yeah.
Tiger King, and I know you don't care, but it's just like so insane, and it's a true story. Now, where I get annoyed is the fact that now all of these people are like quote unquote famous. So
Oh yeah, I mean it's doing that like documentary thing when just like Thin Blue Line. It's like, oh, the police decided to reopen the case because it matters now, or Making a Murderer, same thing.
yeah, well, I'm sure I've told you, but I lived in Sheboygan. So you watched Making a Murder?
Is that where Making a Murderer was?
It was in Manitowoc, which is like 15 minutes north.
I am not aware of the geography over there. in
Which makes
Wisconsin, I'm
perfect
sorry.
sense. But yeah, so Brendan Dassey was
So is that
held.
like a familiar case to you growing up?
Yeah, like I remember seeing it on the news all the time, and I remember hearing people talk about it, but I never really understood the gravity of the situation. So Brendan Dassey was held in Sheboygan, and I delivered chicken wings there a lot to the cops. It was like one of my odd jobs before I moved out. So like I would be there all the time, like once or twice a week, and he was aware. So I was like, we're watching this, and I'm like, holy shit, like it's all coming back. Like that was the same time. A friend of
I
mine.
hope he ate wings in the interrogation room.
I mean, have you seen him lately? It looks like he ate a lot of wings.
Yes.
But like, and that fizzled. Even around here, that thing fizzled. But like, her brother, my understanding is he works for the Packers. So a friend of mine, like our singer, interacts with him on occasion because our singer helps the Packers when they have shows there, like concerts. So it's like weird how it's kind of intertwined without knowing it.
That is a little weird.
Yeah, and I mean like that the sign for the salvage yard is now gone. They took it down because too many people are stopping to take pictures.
Yeah.
But I played in a band in Green Bay, the one that I was telling you about before, the first one I was in. So we're talking when I was like 19. I would drive past that thing 2-3 times a week. Didn't even cross my mind. Yeah, and it's like you never really think about it. Now this thing comes out and everyone loses their fucking mind. And a friend of mine was a parole officer in Chilton, so he knew all those people, like Ken Krantz and stuff.
Wow.
Like when he got his whole like sexual harassment thing came out, and so it's like it's just really weird, and like you hear about these things and you're like, oh man, that's fucked up, and then it comes back on like this national level, and you're like, wow. But it happens so infrequently.
It matters
here.
to the world now.
Yeah, it happens so infrequently here. Like I'm sure you living in the big city, you hear all this. Like I see your neighborhood app where it's like, oh man, stabbed with frozen hot dog 12 times.
Yeah, like, and you hear about it that once and then never again. And before the apps, it's just like
exactly.
Maybe it would be on page 14 of the newspaper.
Yeah, there was
just no follow up to it.
There was, I think it was 2015. We decided there was a shooting at a nightclub in Appleton, and it just was like there was a shooting at a nightclub. No big deal. Well, Alyssa watches a show called See No Evil. And for whatever reason, I decided to watch the newest episode with her, and it was about that shooting. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, And the worst part is you can totally tell 9 times out of 10 when someone from Wisconsin is on TV. Because they all sound like mushmouth idiots. And it's like the more I drink, the more I sound like a mushmouth idiot. I understand it. But like they have, Brian, the victim's mom, and it was like, so we went and we saw him in the hospital and he didn't look good, no. Well, we asked him if he wanted a soda. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, you make us all look so bad.
Another one?
Yeah. I'm like, there was a kid, so in Sheboygan where I grew up, there was a Piggly Wiggly, which is a grocery store if you're not familiar. A kid climbed inside of the claw machine. And it was on the news, and we had a show in St. Louis, and I met someone there, and I told him, like, yeah, I'm from Sheboygan and stuff. And he goes, wait, I thought that was a different country. He goes, the people sound so weird there. I'm like, yeah, no, they sound some real gems there. Because, I mean, we're super close.
Claw machines, man.
Yeah, man, that too. But we're like super close to Canada.
I'm a fucking savant at those.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I was always real bad. There was one when I would bowl junior league. There was one, so we would go and play it when we were done bowling, and I was always really bad at it. What's your secret?
Oh, I have so many stuffed animals. I mean, part of it is you have to, like, they program the claw to be weak, like 6 out of 7 times.
Oh, really? Okay.
And they actually, like, change a dial on it, because they'd be like, oh, this is the average cost of a prize. Mm-hmm. Make sure that the claw is weaker than what we would lose for that many dollars or whatever. So yeah, you just got to be able to decide you never get the thing you want. You get the thing you can get.
Yeah.
But sometimes I've gotten lucky. I've won more than 10 prizes. And to say 10, that sounds like not a lot, but think about like how many clawing machines you've played and probably never got anything.
Never really thought about that. Wow. It's like my whole world's turned upside down right now.
Look up YouTube about like claw machine odds. Because, it's like...
It's a light form of gambling when you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're playing the odds.
Yeah.
So now it's like you said, they adjust the the grip on the claw. So is it every 10 times? Is it actually going to be strong enough to hold something, or is it always weak?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it will be strong enough to hold it, but is that the one where you actually got it onto the thing?
Right.
So it could be more like 1 in 50 that you actually are able to grip something.
Yeah, man.
And there was one time, this bumblebee, I got it so close to the edge and it wouldn't fall in. So I finally like reached up and got it and dislocated my shoulder as I'm getting it. So I'm like, fuck! But I got it.
But you dislocated your shoulder.
Yeah, so it hurt for a couple of days. But I still have the bee.
I would say
in my bedroom.
If you did not keep that bee, how long ago was this?
Maybe 3 years. Did you think I was a kid?
I assumed maybe early 20s. Just
No. Early 30s.
I like how a grown man in his 30s is dislocating his shoulder in a claw machine.
I wanted that fucking bee.
I hope someone laughed at you.
I was with 3 other friends.
Yeah, okay, so 3 people laughed at you. Oh, man, is it a B movie, B?
No, it's just a nothing bee.
Just a nothing B. That sucks.
It is not Barry B. Benson, if that's what you were hoping.
I don't know enough about the B movie, but I assume that is the character.
I believe that is Jerry Seinfeld's character. I may be wrong. I've never seen it either.
Are you serious?
But I understand. Yeah, I've never seen it. But I think the bee fucks a human woman.
All right, I gotta look into this real quick. Wow. Barry B. Benson. Yeah, you are correct.
Still got it.
Yeah, your brain kind of scares me sometimes.
Me too.
I don't feel like the Wikipedia page is gonna have directly Barry fucked a woman. So, well,
Here,
Barry and
I'm gonna
Vanessa.
Google. Does Barry B. Benson fuck a woman?
You're ending up somewhere not good.
Oh, they were married for 6 weeks.
Yeah, human florist named Vanessa. So
That woman from the Bee movie. I didn't fuck Barry B. Benson.
I don't know what you're looking at, but it is terrible.
Oh, it's a joke tweet.
Oh, I didn't realize I'm fascinated with budgets and box offices of movie. The budget on this movie on the B movie was $150 million and it only made $287.
What year was that?
2007.
2003-ish? 7.
Yeah.
Huh.
It just still seems like a lot of movie and not a lot of profit for how popular this movie is now. By popular, I mean very pop culture-wise. Yes. Yeah.
But it's kind of like when Snakes on a Plane finally came out and like all this internet hype about it, and then nobody actually saw it.
I own
so
it.
I don't know. Like you own a copy? You've seen it?
I have it on DVD.
Do you? I've never seen it, and neither did most of the people that were like doing the online.
I think it was like a
Whatever,
$5 bin. That's the only reason I bought it. I do not believe I
There
paid
you
full
go.
price for it.
So it probably didn't even like go back to the studio. It went to
Yeah, I'm fairly certain.
whatever reseller. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Beat says that the budget on Box Office Mojo doesn't include marketing, so they probably didn't make any money because I think they marketed it pretty hard.
Marketing is a very expensive thing.
Aren't you a marketing guy?
A trailer could cost $100,000 to make.
Wait.
If there's a big song in it, add another $40K.
Okay, so a trailer could cost. Did you say 40 to 100 or 4,200?
$40,000 to $100,000.
Wow. Wow.
Especially if you're including cut downs, like you make your 2-minute trailer, then your 60-second online version, maybe 4 or 5 different 30-second TV versions, a couple of 15s.
Wow.
Yeah, it ain't cheap.
That's weird.
It's ridiculous.
Blows my mind.
And yet, if you tell me, we got to make a trailer, we got $12,000 for it, I'm like, fuck no.
Huh. You don't think you could do any sort of trailer for $12,000?
You could. You could.
I mean, I feel like I should learn video editing and start making movie trailers.
It's well, I'll put it this way: the editor, the guy sitting in the seat, is probably $600 a day. Wow. The room he's sitting in is probably $600 a day. The producer who's overseeing it might be $500 to $800 a day. And you got your bandwidth and your hard drives and whatever. It adds up. And rounds of review. If you're showing it to 9 different departments, if you're showing it to the director, that draws out the number of days you need your editor available. Color correcting is it could be $300 an hour. Sound mix.
Wow.
And if you license a song, get out of here. So it's like no one little exorbitant thing.
Yeah. It's just a lot of medium priced things that add up quickly.
And yeah, and you pay for the good people that know how to do trailers because, like, let's maybe get it right on V3.
Yeah. There was I don't know if you watch stand up stuff on Netflix at all.
Every once in a while, yeah.
So Tom Segura has a new one out, and I was listening to his podcast, and he was talking about how like the makeup person made him look like a clown, and they did like 12 passings of color correction to try and make him look normal.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I fucking couldn't have been cheap for Netflix because every time.
No.
Yeah.
That's why you don't say, oh, we'll fix it in post.
Yeah, not with that at least. Not with video.
But on the day when you've rented out like a, I don't know, 20,000 person thing,
yeah.
the overtime on the guys, because you're not shooting it in the middle of the day, you're shooting it at night after hours when they're probably making OT anyway.
Oh, wow.
That adds up. And so like every minute, if you're the producer standing there, you're like, just get him out on stage. He looks fine.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Huh.
Yeah. I mean, especially with like an animated movie or a Marvel movie, there's like 7 minutes of credits with, 400 or 500 people in them.
Mm-hmm.
If each of them made $100 on the whole movie, you're at 40 grand. But these people work like 40, 50 days.
Yeah.
So it's,
wow.
Robert Downey Jr. makes 20 million or whatever. But aside from that, like it's just nickel and diming.
Huh, it's crazy. Makes sense though.
Yeah.
On that note,
it does.
We should probably wrap this up because
that's a great idea.
I have to pee. I believe you are familiar with the Marry Fuck Kill. I think we talked about it last week.
But we only have. I mean, I'm familiar with the concept, and we did it for The Outsider. But
it's just which one would you do? Would you marry? Would you fuck? Or would you kill the movie?
I'd fuck it. I enjoyed it, but I don't want to see it again.
You don't want to see
after tomorrow.
So this is not the first time I've seen this movie, so I don't know. Maybe a repeat fucking. Because I have enjoyed it in the past, I may in the future. So the whole reason that this kind of came to mind, a buddy of mine is trying to find movies for his son to watch. His son is a young teenage boy, and we were trying to find slasher style movies that were good, not a ton of violence and next to no nudity, and Strangers 1 and 2 are ones that came up. Same with Silent Hill and Drag Me to Hell that we talked about because I think these are all PG-13.
Yeah. You don't see like any knife penetration or anything, really.
Nope.
And it's all just out of frame. That's an interesting point.
Yep. I think that's how they got the PG-13. So that's kind of how the whole idea of doing this came to mind in the revisiting. So with that being said, like I wasn't upset to have to rewatch this movie. I don't know if I'll really run out to do it again. Because it is kind of like a whole lot of nothing happening and then a little bit of something happening. Yeah. It's a solid movie, though. So,
if I run into its sister at a bar, should I fuck it?
I'm talking
about the sequel.
Yeah, from what I recall, the second one is better. I think it's more of like an action. It's a more action-y horror movie.
Yeah.
But I have not seen it in a while, so take what I just said at face value. If you're interested in it and it's not free, let me know. Because I've
got a lot of time on my hands.
Yeah.
With a perfectly legal way of watching it, I'm sure.
Yeah. I didn't say I was going to provide an illegal way. I own a digital copy that you can have access to is where I'm going with this.
I'll fly to Wisconsin and watch it in your house.
That works. Sure. If that's how you want to do it. Flights are cheap right now. You're more than welcome. But yeah, so I know next week we're going to be talking 28 Days Later. Unless...
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I forgot how relevant that movie is right now.
Empty Streets of London, yeah.
Yeah. I really was upset. I thought we were going to be watching the prequel 28 Days with Sandra Bullock, but... That is a joke that never gets old, by the way.
Every time.
Oh, God, it's so good. But
Yeah. A lot of great. Oh, that guy in
yeah,
28 Days Later.
yeah. So
Christopher Eccleston. Eccleston, is he in it?
let me look this up.
Brendan Gleeson. Eccleston, I think, is like the military general guy. And I want to say Naomi Harris of Skyfall is
Selena.
the woman in it,
Yep.
isn't it?
Eccleston. Yeah, Christopher Eccleston is the Major Henry West.
Nice.
I don't know a lot of these people by name, but by face I did.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah. I'm gonna have to watch 28 months later. 28 weeks later. Sorry. Whatever happened
Have
to
you
28?
ever seen it?
Yeah. Whatever happened to 28 months later?
I think people saw 28 Weeks Later and were like, yeah, that's enough.
I saw it a long time ago and remember liking it, but I feel like it got
Like
good
'07,
reviews.
I want to say.
Yep, 2007.
Yeah. It it did the Aliens thing where it was like small movie, very enclosed, make the sequel, big action movie, lots of machine gunnery.
So Corey showed up in the chat. Hi, Corey. Hope you're feeling better.
Oh, Corey.
He said 28 months later was still being talked about last year,
Oh, okay.
and I don't never talk about
28
Doctor Who.
months. How long is that?
2 years and
2 years and a season.
2 years and
And a,
4 months.
yeah,
No,
there you go.
yeah.
Yeah.
28 months. Why does any of that matter? Let's see. 28 months later, release date. Yada yada yada. Oh yeah, this period is September of 2019. They were still talking about it. So who actually knows? It may never happen. I mean, oh, here. 28 months later, why the third movie will probably never happen. So that's.
There you go.
I'm not going to read all this.
Sure, that's a very reliable source you've got there.
I closed it. There was a lot of words and no actual explanation.
Yeah, screw that.
Someone needs to give me a rundown. But yeah, thank you again for showing up short notice.
My pleasure.
You realize you have to say the line, Corey's line, right? Because he's not here.
Oh yes, Corey's line.
Do you know it? We'll see when we get there. But that's going to do it for another episode of the podcast here. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
I'm not even mad. It was actually better that you didn't know it.
See you there.
See. It stays scary, everybody. But I have audio. I have like a recording of them.
Stay scary, everybody.
I already stopped the audio. It doesn't matter. Now it's just YouTube. But yeah. So see, Corey got it. Stay scary, everybody. I'll have to put him in. I'll put it in post.
I didn't have the chat
No, it's
live
fine.
this time.
No. It's fine. And Lightstream let us down, so I had to hodgepodge XSplit to get it to go. But I'm going to stop YouTube. I'm going to let Kevin go on with the remainder of his night. I'm going to take a pee and probably poke my wife. Just right in the side. So
See you around.